What is going on, everybody? Non here, and it's been a very, very busy day of sales. So, I want to talk perfect order. I'm going to talk about pre-orders and just the general market sentiment versus the loud folks on the internet saying how everything's shitty versus what the dollars and the transaction flow is saying. I'm going to talk about the first partner illustration collections a little bit because this is a little head scratching in a good way, but head scratching nonetheless. So, perfect order booster boxes. And I just saw Rudy put a sale out with one perfect order box and one Obsidian Flames box, which is really an interesting way to do it. But all of the folks in our Discord have done nothing but talk shit on perfect order. It's the biggest garbage set ever. It's terrible. Not buying it. Blah, 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 blah. And to their credit, they followed through when it came to booster boxes. So for our premium members, I basically guarantee a sealed case of every standard set as it comes up. Now, obviously, the last couple sets, the allocations have been a little tight on booster boxes. Everything else is fine. But booster boxes have tightened up just a little bit. There's obviously more stores getting in with organized play. So the overall pie is getting spread a little bit more thin. Now, it does look like with Chaos Rising, it does look like the supply's up a little bit. 12.5%-ish, plus or minus, on all the SKUs, which is good. But normally we'll sell out of cases just to premium members in, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I try to keep one per sub. It doesn't always work out that way. I think I'm somewhere around 75% sell-through rate, but it didn't sell out by half this time, which is crazy because the price we charge, I think it was $11.99 for the case this time. And again, the cases are all clean, no labels, double box, none of that bullshit that you'll get from some other places. So it was a little head scratching. And then for the first time, really was able to open up box sales to our elite subs. Charged a couple extra bucks a box, but again, tax and shipping's all rolled in there, and it sold. But I'm still left with about 100 boxes. So it's really fascinating that folks are looking at perfect order, and 232 here for MVP. Pre-release is probably a little on the high end. The right time to buy this, in my opinion, is really Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday of next week, when all of the Timmy stores can dump the product on the market and panic and push the price on TCG Player down to the point where it's below eBay. Just kind of look at P Football Pete as the baseline for if you can do better than that, it's a good deal. And if you can't, just buy it from them. Omni Books or whatever the hell it is, collectibles. So I was fascinated with this. So one of the things that I had done, and for multiple reasons, is we obviously ran a pre-release sale on TCG Player today, and those guys are absolutely fantastic. So we sold booster bundles and ETBs, wave one only. Everything has to ship at release, whatever. So ETBs with the giant. Every time I look at the art, I just laugh. Whoever put this art together didn't go to bed, wake up the next morning, set the ETB or the picture somewhere down and take a step back and say, is this a good idea? And I didn't even realize this. You have the circle and then you have the Pokeball. It's almost like it's attached. Anyway, I digress. So we sold the ETBs. Let's see here, $79.99, which quite honestly, I think is a fair price. When we do pre-release sales, I try to kind of ballpark where I think the elite trainer boxes are going to settle, a little bit after release opens. Sometimes I'm low, sometimes I'm high, but generally speaking, I have a good feel for where the ballpark is. So $79.99, everything sold out. Now, it took probably 4 or 5 hours to sell everything out. I think it was like 450 ETBs. It was a decent number, but it sold out. And given all of the noise plus the behavior of the booster box sales, I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if it was going to be like oh my God, it's a deal. We're going to buy this right away. Or if it wasn't going to sell out at all and everybody was just going to poop all over the product. But it seems like the demand is reasonable. And then the same with the booster bundles. We sold them for $44.99. I don't know why this dude's selling them across the border from Canada. I don't even know what's going on. I have no comment. So, $45, not as good of a deal as the ETBs below market, but we sold everything. This was the last item that sold out. The other thing that was surprising is we had a lot of 2+ orders, not a whole lot of singles, which is good, especially for smaller dollar items, because you tend to not get smashed on shipping as much. So this is perfect order. And again, I think it's going to be a fine set. Journey Together boxes are like $280. So anything perfect order again, $200, $220. I don't think it's going to drop under $200. If it does for a couple seconds, I would buy it. I don't see the booster boxes relative to everything else dropping this far. And I've made this comment a couple times that I think the general Pokemon public is extremely, extremely spoiled, like a 5-year-old brat right now, because the sets that have come out in the last almost 2 years, they have all been super high quality sets. Really if Journey Together is your worst set in the last 2 years, you're basically batting 1,000. You're a Hall of Famer. So, this set is a little bit of a step back, but this set also has a reason. It is here to support the video game. So it is what it is. And, sets like this probably going to age pretty well, especially with the less supply. But now I want to talk about the ancillary products. And we don't have to talk about the first partners, pin collection, which is Ascended Heroes, or the poster collection which is Ascended Heroes. Those things are absolute home runs. It is what it is. We're talking about the first partner collections. So when these came out, and I will tell you that the cost of these at the most expensive price point I have is just barely double digits, like just barely. So you guys have an idea of how crazy this is. And the pre-sale numbers for these, I actually listed some on pre-sale because I couldn't believe they were that high. It was like $70 for the longest time. And I'm just scratching my head. I'm like, WTF, you have a Mega 1 and a Mega 2 pack in here. Quite honestly, I didn't even look to see when we were shipping them out today, if that's what it was. And then you have this cool little first partner pack. But for the life of me, if you look at Mega 1, Mega 2, just say that's $15, right? Another $10 to ship each one of these, because shipping one of these at a time is an MFR. It is a miserable experience, and you're just going to lose your ass. So that's $25, right? So is the pack inside really a $35 pack? And I go back and forth where I'm like, oh, it's only 3 packs. There's no way it should be worth this. But then you start looking at the Bulbasaur, the Squirtle, the Charmander, and a PSA 10. These cards are going to be over $100. And if the quality is crappy, they probably could be that much more. And look, there are a lot of these coming out, but you only have a 1 in 3 chance to get the card that you want. Now this is wave 1. There's a second wave coming out that looks like it's about the same size as wave 1. But I don't think there's going to be a reprint of this. This is kind of a cool little niche-y, unique product here. But I sold these today for $39.99. And quite honestly, I thought that price was still a little on the high side. But based on where the market was, I thought it was fair. I think a couple people looked at me like I was crazy going this cheap on the market. But I half expected one of the big sellers, to come in and undercut me and basically just say F you, which didn't happen. Fortunately, because we are no longer in the pre-release window for this. Today was the release day. So it is open to all the Timmy stores just to dump if they want to. And it's not dumping. And it's not dumping because people are paying a ton for this first partner pack, which blows my mind. So This product sold out faster than either one of the perfect orders. And I had 600 of these. There's, I think, almost 700 I put up for sale. Whereas the ETBs, it was like 450 and the bundles were like 300. So it's just, for the life of me, I can't figure out the Pokemon market because perfect order got shit on. But something like this that is just so egregiously expensive, in my opinion, based on what you're getting, literally blew out at the snap of a finger. And, when I run the sales privately, which I did after the sale because I had some left for Discord, it sold out in 30 seconds. And I don't understand with this item here, like who's paying $50 for this or $60 or $70 for this? I mean, I get it's cool. And I get in 2 years from now, there's going to be a lot of nostalgia here. And, it's probably going to be a $50 or $60 item. But I, for the life of me, I don't see this being $100, $120 item anytime soon. So if you guys disagree with me, let me know in the comment section because this is a head scratcher. And, this is one of those where, I thought I had all my calculations down. I knew what the market was. I had some idea of how long it was going to last. And it just absolutely destroyed my hopes and dreams and my expectations, quite honestly. And I don't mean that in a positive way. I like to keep the stuff priced and out there so everybody has a fair chance of getting it. And it's sold out so fast. Now, on TCG Player, it probably sold out in 2 hours, 3 hours. But again, it was a lot more volume than the other two items. But I don't understand it. So, I'm really, really interested in hearing everybody's thoughts. I know the first partner stuff is really, really cool. I know everybody wants it. I can't get over the price point. It just seems egregiously high to me. So anyway, guys, that's all I got for tonight. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, and